What's up, world? I'm back with a new video for you today. So I've decided to start a new series of videos. Whether or not I continuously update it is a whole other side of the equation, if that's even the right terminology here. But it is Friday today, and I'm home, not doing much right now because I don't have work, which I just said, or any other stuff to do. Went grocery shopping this morning. So today I've decided to start this new series, like I said. It's called Fandom Fridays. Basically, not necessarily every Friday, because I am pretty sure I will not be updating every Friday, but on Fridays, occasionally, I will be posting a video talking about a fandom, obviously. And most of the time it'll probably be a TV show fandom, but it could also be a book fandom, or movie, or a band. I don't know. But fandoms, they're everywhere. So this week, this first one is about the Haven fandom, which I just recently have joined. As evidenced here, this is the first season DVD set thing. It opens all cool. I don't know. I bought it at this store that my brother showed me and my sister when we were out a couple days ago. I want to say it was Monday night? Yeah, Monday. Anyways, so my younger sister got me hooked on this show because it is on Netflix, all 5 seasons. And so she got me hooked on it. So then I watched it. I watched the first couple episodes with her, and then we weren't watching it for a little while because there, other stuff was going on. So I have my own Netflix, so I decided to continue watching it on there. So I did, and I watched it every single chance that I got. I was watching it. It is really good. So if you have not seen the show Haven, I would definitely suggest checking it out and watching it. I'm not going to be holding back spoilers in this video, so if you haven't seen it or you're in the middle of watching it, click away, don't watch, because I'm not going to be holding back spoilers because I've already finished it and I don't want to have to try to figure out what I can't talk about when I'm talking about this fandom. So yeah. So forewarning, there will be spoilers. So here it goes, I guess. So if you haven't heard of this show Haven, it's based on the book The Colorado Kid by Stephen King. It's very loosely based, I believe. I've never read the book, but I do know that it's what inspired the show, and I believe there's a lot of like callbacks to different Stephen King works throughout the show. I didn't catch any of them because I don't read Stephen King books. I'm not a huge horror. I mean, I don't know really what he writes. I think a lot of it's horror-ish stuff, but like I said, I don't read his stuff, so I don't know. Anyways, basically the show, it's about this girl, Audrey Parker. She's an FBI agent. She comes to the town Haven. I can't tell. Yeah, that's the right direction. She comes to the town Haven in Maine, and she goes there for an assignment she was sent on, and she meets these people. She meets this handsome guy here, Nathan Warnos, and then she also meets this handsome guy, Duke Crocker. And the three of them, I love their friendship. Their friendship is like one of my favorites. It's so good and so perfect in so many ways. And so then while she's there, she discovers all this stuff is happening. Oh, my sister is texting me. So while she's there, she discovers all this crazy stuff that's going on, that people, things that shouldn't be happening are happening. around town and with the people. So she's like, I gotta stay here. And, you know, she finds this picture of the Colorado kid who was somebody that had been killed, like, I think it was like 27 years earlier in this town. This person had been killed, and nobody knew who did it, why it happened, or how it happened, or anything. So it's like this big mystery, which was like the inspiration for the show. And so through the whole series, you know, she's like helping these people with their troubles, is what they call them. They're troubled. And so she's helping them, and just like the entire show, it's so good on so many levels. Like, there's so many different layers. Like, they were saying, I was watching some interviews, and they were saying that like the first season, because obviously they didn't know how many seasons they were going to get when they were doing the first season, obviously. So like I was watching interviews and stuff, and like listening to like the audio commentary for the episodes for this, and they were like talking about how like the first season was like just barely scratching the surface of the town, and how there was still so much there. And so throughout the series, throughout the 5 seasons, they kind of get to delve into more of the mysteries of the town and the people in the town. And it's so, so good. Really well thought out in certain areas. One of my favorite relationships on the show is Audrey and Nathan. Oh my goodness, you guys. People who watch this show, you guys, oh my gosh. I love it. Their relationship, even before they get together, their relationship is just so perfect in so many ways. I got my friend from work, I got her hooked onto this show now because I was talking about it at work while I was like in the process of watching it. Obviously I wasn't watching it at work. I can't. And so I had told her about it, and so she decided to check it out. And so now she's watching it. She's on the final season. She hasn't texted me yet since like yesterday or the day before. I think it was yesterday. She texted me. I think it was, she had texted me when Duke had kissed Mara, or Mara had kissed Duke, and she was like freaking out. I was like, oh girl, just wait. Every time she freaks out about something, I'm like, oh, just wait, it gets crazier. And so I'm just like waiting for her to text me when she reaches like the final episode and like the episode before and everything. Can't wait to see her reactions because she loves Duke, and I'm like, oh girl, just wait. Yeah. And also I love Audrey and Duke's friendship. They have a great relationship, you know. Even though there was like that underlying romantic-y tension type stuff, that there was like are they going to, are they not going to, even though that was there for a little bit, I still loved that even though he could tell that she wasn't as into him as he was into her, that he was still able to be a friend and be there for her when she needed him, which I really, really liked. And also, Duke and Nathan's friendship, oh my goodness. Frenemies, if there ever were. Like, I love that, like, they hate each other. Like, they can't stand each other in the beginning, but as the series goes, they start to form this friendship, you know, that they're sharing this like bond, I guess you could say, which I loved. And like I cried so hard in the finale, you guys, it's not even funny. Like, I was sitting here in the living room, my mom was across sitting at the couch watching something on the TV. I was sitting here in this exact chair on my phone watching the final episodes, and I was crying. I was like, no, Duke, why? I was so upset. Like, oh, I was so heartbroken. He was such a good character. But, you know, they had alluded to it. I was really hoping they weren't going to, but, you know, they had alluded, you know, in the first season, he saw how he was going to die. And then, you know, when, like, Mara turned him into the trouble bomb and then all this other stuff, and I'm just like, no, Duke, why'd you have to die? I was so heartbroken. And I saw this girl that I follow on Twitter, she had tweeted a picture of like the three main people, and then she was like, oh, you know, I miss this so much. And I guess she had been like rewatching some episodes or like the final parts, and she was saying how she was like so upset about Duke dying. I was like, oh, I know, I just finished like recently and I was so heartbroken. She's like, it's like the most devastating moment. And I was like, oh, it totally is. It was like way up there at the top, you know. I also was like tears down my face in the final, when Nathan, his speech to Audrey before she goes into the armory, you know, it's the new barn, before she goes in there, and he's talking to her, and then it's got like I think there was a montage over the top of it, but like when he was talking to her, I was crying. I was like, no, it's so sad. She can't go. She can't leave. They're like perfect. She can't. And I was so heartbroken. I was so upset. And then at the end, when she comes back, but she's Paige, and she has baby James there, I was like, yay! And like that whole scene like paralleled their first meeting, and it was so perfect, and I was just like, oh yay. And then when they drove off, I actually didn't realize it at the time until I saw something on Tumblr, I think, that the song that they play at the very end when they're driving in the Bronco is the same song that is playing in the first episode when she's driving, I think, or like when her car's on the cliff. And I think it's also playing when she wakes up in that morning too. But I was like, oh, they knew what they were doing. They knew that. They knew what they were doing. That's good. This show's so good, you guys. I obviously, like, I haven't been a part of the fandom for too long, just a couple of weeks or whatnot. And the show, it was only on, I want to say, I think it started in 2011, and it was on until like 2015, or it was like 2011, 2012, I think. I can't remember the exact date, or the exact year. I don't think it says on here anywhere. Now I'm gonna look it up because it's going to drive me crazy. But yeah, it was only on, I think it ended in 2015, so it's been off the air for like 2 years, about 2 years. So I didn't watch it while it was on, but I remember seeing commercials for it because I was watching, I think Eureka was on at that time when this was starting, and Warehouse 13, and so I was watching both of those, and like I remember seeing commercials for Haven because it was on Sci-Fi. Yeah, 2010, I guess is when it started. So I was watching some other stuff on Sci-Fi, and so like I remember seeing commercials for it, but at the time I was like, I don't know, it looks a little not my speed, I guess you could say. And then, like I said, my sister got me hooked because it's on Netflix, and now I'm like obsessed with it right now. I bought the first season, and it's all on Netflix, and I've seen the whole series, and I went just a couple days ago, I just went back and rewatched a couple of episodes and some scenes and stuff on Netflix. But I had to buy the DVD because there's all the bonus features that aren't on Netflix and that you can't find just on YouTube, you know, or if you do find them, it's like really weird quality to the videos. Sorry, I'm just checking to see when these other two shows were on, because I know that I watched some other stuff on Sci-Fi at the time. Yeah, so Eureka and Warehouse 13 were the shows that I was watching on Sci-Fi, and it's like I would see the commercials for Haven. Anyways, so then now, so I have the first season, and I bought it for the bonus features. It's like the best part of buying DVDs of like movies and shows is the bonus features. Hands down, it's like one of the best parts. And then yesterday, after work, I got home about 1 a.m. because I work at a theater, so I was closing concessions, so I got home at like 1 o'clock, and I couldn't fall asleep, so I was just messing on my phone, and I was on Amazon, and I found season 2 for like $8, so I bought it at like 2 in the morning, and then later that day, I was on my phone again, and I was on Amazon again because I was checking to see if it had shipped yet or not. And I found season 3 for like $9, and I bought it. So now I have seasons 2 and 3 coming in. They're supposed to get here tomorrow, which I'm really excited about because I love audio, like the audio commentary on episodes. Especially, I love it the most when it's the cast that's on it, because there's just like something to, like, when the cast gets to interact and talk about what they remember doing with the episodes. That's always the best. And then I love behind the scenes stuff, VFX. So this show obviously has a lot of special effects because there's like crazy stuff that these people can do, you know, with their troubles. And so it's fun. I love VFX stuff. I would love to be in that field someday. I think it'd be super cool. Like graphic design, VFX, I think that would be so much fun to do. And a lot of people don't like watching like the behind the scenes, how they do VFX and effects work, because they think that like takes away from what they're doing. I think it adds to it personally. I think it adds to the magic of the scene, getting to see how they did stuff. I love it. So this show obviously has a lot of effects, and they were all like really, really good. So like after I finished the show, every time I finish a movie or a show or something, I immediately go on Tumblr and search all the tags that I can to try to find posts about it. Obviously, I go and find all the fan fiction that I can, especially after this show, because there's a lot of stuff that, you know, happened at the end, and it's like, oh, what's going to happen now? You know, if they had gotten renewed for a 6th season, I would have loved to have seen what they would have done with Paige being there, with baby James and Nathan, and how he has to adjust to this and whatnot, and if she remembers being Audrey, or if it's just a completely new slate and she's just Paige. You know, the troubles aren't coming back, so she gets to be Paige forever. And like, did she get those memories from somebody else, or is it like her own, like she created this, you know, to come back? So I would have loved to have seen what they would have been able to do with another season. Although at the same time, it's like, well, the troubles are gone, and the whole show was like based around these troubles. So it would have been interesting to see what they would have done if they had gotten a new season, or if they knew that they were getting another season. Because I don't know how it worked when they found out that they weren't getting another season. I don't know how far into season 5 they were. But it would have been interesting to see if they had kept going with the troubled storyline, or did it how they did it with season 5 and then doing something different. I think that would have been really interesting to see. But so far I haven't had any like negative encounters with this fandom, because like I said a couple of times, I've just recently joined it, and it's not like as active now since it's been a couple years since it's been off the air. But, you know, there's still people that talk about it. Like, I've seen, like I said, my friend, I'm gonna call her my friend, I only know her online. She's still a huge fan. And, you know, the two of the leads, Lucas Bryant, who plays Nathan, and Emily Rose, who plays Audrey, the two of them were just at a convention. I don't know if it was just recently, how recent it was. I think it was this year, or it could have been last year. No, I think it was this year. They were at some kind of convention, and they were talking about the show. You know, people are still fans. People are still going to be fans. It's just, as time goes on, depending on what the fandom is, it's not going to be as hardcore. Obviously, there are some fandoms that are never going to die out, but there are some that they kind of fizzle out over time and aren't as active in the fandom, especially if it's a show, especially once the show goes off the air, because there's not as much inspiration for it, because you're not getting new scenes and new material to work with. Yeah, it's like I read a bunch of stories, and some of the stories I've read were like really good. Some of them I'm like, okay, that makes some sense, I guess. But other stuff, it's like, alright, this is like really good. Hi, my brother just got home. He went on a walk. Something. Anyways, This video is getting long. I should probably finish it up. So this was, you know, first attempt at this new series of videos I am doing. I don't really, you know, as I do more videos, you know, things will get better, but I love this show. If you love the show, if you've seen it, if you love it, leave a comment down below. Let me know, you know, what your favorite parts were, what your least favorite parts were, what you would have loved to have seen happen if they had a 6th season. I'd love to know what you guys thought about the show. I loved it. I'm obsessed. Obviously, there's some stuff that broke my heart that I would have loved to have seen go differently. But for the most part, I loved it, loved it, loved it. If there are any fandoms that you guys would love for me to cover, most of the time I'll probably only be talking about ones that I'm involved in, because I'm going to know more about ones that I'm involved in than ones that I'm not involved in. But if there's something you want me to check out, leave it down below. I'd love to, you know, I'm always up for watching new things, reading new things, or whatnot. I don't read a whole lot. I do have a bunch of books I want to get to, but I don't read a whole lot, so, you know, we'll see. So I probably won't be talking about book fandoms too often, because like I said, I don't read a whole lot. But if you're a huge book person, my older sister has a YouTube channel where she reviews books and does unboxings, and so you probably would like it, so you can check that out. I'll put the link down below. You can also catch me on all my social media. I love to talk about different shows and movies that I love. I love to talk with other people about them. That's how I met a lot of my friends online. So I'll put those down below. You guys can hit me up. That was weird to say. You guys can find me on there and we can talk. I'd love to talk to you guys, meet new people. So everybody who worked on Haven in any capacity, you're all incredible people. I loved this show. It was amazing. Keep doing great work. I can't wait to see what you guys all come up with next. So yeah. Bye.